Money is more than numbers. It carries history, identity, and power. In Africa, currencies are born from deserts, gold mines, oil fields, seas of tourists, and battles for independence. Tonight, we count down the top 10 strongest African currencies compared to the US dollar. For each one, we'll reveal its story, its name, its divisions, what came before it, and finally, how it stands against the dollar. Stay tuned till number 1, because Africa's strongest currency may not be the one you think.
At number 10, the South African Rand. In 1961, South Africa stepped away from the British pound and gave birth to a new identity, the Rand. Its name is not random. It comes from the Witwatersrand, the ridge of white waters where Johannesburg's gold rush once turned dust into fortunes. A reminder that this nation's economy was literally carved from the earth. The Rand divides into 100 cents, and on its notes today, the face of Nelson Mandela smiles back, a constant symbol of struggle, freedom, and resilience. But the Rand's journey has not been easy. It has weathered apartheid sanctions, global recessions, and waves of political turmoil. It has weakened, strengthened, and weakened again. Yet it remains Africa's most traded and liquid currency, used far beyond its borders. So when it comes to the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 18 Rand. Not the strongest on our list, but certainly one of the most iconic.
Number 9. The Lesotho Lati. High in the rugged mountains of southern Africa lies the Kingdom of Lesotho, land of shepherds, rivers, and towering peaks. Its currency. The Loti carries a quiet strength. The word Loti in Sesotho simply means money. It divides into 100 lesenti, the small coins that pass from hand to hand in village markets. 4 years, Lesotho relied solely on the South African Rand. But in 1980, the nation introduced the Lati, its own symbol of independence. Even so, the Rand still circulates freely, a reminder of Lesotho's deep ties to its powerful neighbor. The Loti may not be widely known outside its borders, but inside Lesotho, it is a mark of sovereignty, a quiet declaration. We may be small, but we stand tall. And when placed against the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 18 Lati, a mountain currency, steady and resilient. Number 8. The Namibia dollar, across endless red dunes and Atlantic coastlines. Namibia tells its story in silence and sand. For decades, the South African Rand was the only currency in use. But in 1993, 3 years after independence, Namibia introduced its own money, the Namibian dollar. It divides into 100 cents goods. On its notes, you'll see portraits of independence heroes and images of the Namib Desert, the oldest desert in the world, etched into paper. Though proudly its own, the Namibian dollar is pegged 1-to-1 with the Rand. In markets and shops, the two currencies flow side by side, inseparable, but distinct just like Namibia itself. Young, independent, but forever connected to its past. Chet, and when compared to the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 18 Namibian dollars. A desert nation's currency scarce, resilient, and quietly powerful. Few currencies are born from blood and sacrifice. The Nakfa is one of them. It takes its name from the mountain town of Nakfa, where Eritrean fighters dug in and held their ground during a 30-year struggle for independence. The name is not just geography, is memory. It is defiance. It is victory carved into money. The Nakfa divides into 100 cents. Its notes carry portraits of farmers, students, and soldiers, ordinary people who became extraordinary symbols of resilience. Before independence in 1993, Eritreans used Ethiopia's birr. But when freedom came, they claimed their own identity in ink and paper. Like most currencies, the Nakfa is tightly controlled, fixed rather than floating, shielded by government policy. It cannot be traded freely, but it cannot be ignored either. And when measured against the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 15 Nakfa. A fighter's currency, unyielding, guarded, and born in sacrifice, far out in the Indian Ocean. A nation of islands whispers its strength the Seychelles rupee. Its name carries echoes of centuries-old trade. When Arab and Indian merchants steered dhows across the seas, the rupee, like the tides, became part of island life. It divides into 100 cents. Coins and notes pass through the hands of fishermen at dawn, hotel clerks at noon, and market sellers in Victoria by evening. Before independence, Seychelles used the Mauritian rupee and the East African shilling. But once free, it cast its own coin into the world. Today, the rupee's strength flows not from oil or diamonds, but from paradise itself. Tourism is its engine: sunlit beaches, coral reefs, and resorts that draw the world to its shores. Strict fiscal discipline keeps it steady, making it one of Africa's most valuable island currencies. And how does it compare? $1 is equivalent to 15 Seychelles rupees. A currency of paradise: small, vibrant, and stronger than many expect. Number 5. The Botswana Pula, in the dry Kalahari. Where rain is rare and precious, Botswana named its currency after life itself, the Pula, meaning rain. Its coins are called teba, meaning shields. Once used in battle together, rain and shield tell the story of a nation that defends what is scarce and values what is priceless. The Pula divides into 100 tebi on its notes. Zebras gallop and national leaders stand tall, a blend of natural wealth and political stability. Before 1976, Botswana used the South African rand. But with independence, it introduced the Pula, backed not just by diamonds in the soil, but by a government that chose discipline over corruption. And today, when measured against the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 13 Pula, a desert currency, rare pure, and a symbol of honest prosperity. Number 4. The Ghanaian cedi. Long before modern banks, West Africans traded in shells, the humble cowrie. When Ghana introduced its own money, it honored that history by naming it the cedi, from the Akan word for cowrie shell. The cedi is divided into 100 pursuers, tiny fragments, like the shells that once fueled kingdoms. It replaced the Ghanaian pound in 1965 as the first sub-Saharan African nation to break free from colonial rule. But the cedi's journey has been turbulent: waves of inflation, painful devaluations, IMF rescues. Yet, like Ghana itself, the cedi keeps rising, carried by gold, cocoa, and oil exports. And against the dollar? $1 is equivalent to 12 Ghanaian cedis. A shell reborn as a symbol of resilience, fragile at times, but enduring. Holiday. In the markets of Marrakesh, traders call out prices in a currency with ancient roots, the dirham. Its name comes from the Greek drachma, carried across centuries by Arab traders. Today, it divides into 100 sub-centimet. In 1960, Morocco retired the old real, and the dirham became the nation's coin of identity. Its strength is built on diversity, tourism that draws millions, remittances from Moroccans abroad, agriculture, textiles, and exports to Europe. The dirham does not rely on one pillar, but many, and that balance makes it one of Africa's most stable currencies. And when measured against the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 9 Moroccan dirhams, a currency of crossroads anchored in history, yet firmly connected to the future. The dinar of Libya is a paradox, strong in numbers, fragile in reality. It divides into 1,000 dirhams, and its name, like Tunisia's, comes from the ancient Roman denarius. Introduced in 1971 to replace the pound, the dinar has been held up by Libya's immense oil wealth. Even through revolutions and wars, oil exports keep its value high. Strict government controls ensure it doesn't collapse, even when the nation itself falters. But the irony is sharp. The dinar is stronger than the country it represents. And compared to the dollar, $1 is equivalent to 5.4 Libyan dinars. A currency of oil and paradox, shining bright even in turmoil. At the very top of our list stands a quiet but mighty champion, the Tunisian dinar. It divides into 1,000 millions, and its very name, dinar, reaches back centuries to the Roman denarius, a reminder that Tunisia's place in global trade is older than many nations themselves. In 1960, Tunisia cast aside the French franc and claimed its own money. From that moment, one word has defined the dinar: discipline. Tight foreign exchange controls, careful management, and low inflation forged a currency that stood strong when others faltered. But here's the twist. Strength does not come from oil fields or diamond mines. Instead, the Tunisian dinar is powered by olive oil that feeds the Mediterranean, phosphates that enrich the soil of nations, textiles woven for Europe, and factories that manufacture goods shipped across seas. This is not luck, it is strategy. It is resilience born from planning, not just resources. So, how does Africa's strongest currency compare to the dollar? $1 is equivalent to just 2.9 Tunisian dinars. The Tunisian dinar. Subtle, steadfast, and undefeated. A currency that proves Africa's greatest strength is not always its size, but its wisdom.
So there you have it, the top 10 strongest African currencies compared to the US dollar. From cowrie shells in Ghana to desert rains in Botswana, from drachmas in Morocco to the oil fields of Libya, Africa's currencies are not just money. They are history, power, and pride pressed into paper and coin. Which one surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments, hit that like button, and share this countdown with someone who still underestimates Africa's wealth. Because Africa is not poor. Africa is powerful, and its currencies prove it.